Hello and welcome to the next video review of the training block. Unfortunately, I did not get the last week's out in time, so this is going to be again a condensed 2 weeks worth, and I look forward to what's on the plan for this week. So going straight into it, the first run of a couple of weeks ago was the 6 to 8k easy. That was actually the first run after the great Yarmouth half marathon. Recovery was really quick after that. Yeah, generally thankful about how that actually went. No flare up or no injuries as a result of that race. I was really happy with that. Wednesday, I was in London with work and didn't actually end up getting back until 2 in the morning, and then I was up at 5:45 in the morning. And I felt very hungover and very tired. This was supposed to be an out and back, and I just changed it to just running to feel because I felt terrible. It's also supposed to be 14k maximum. Completely misread it and did 15. I thought it was 13 to 15. So all in all, a bit of shocker. A very big low light of that run was at about 9.5k. Went to burp, and that turned into being sick in my mouth. So really wasn't a pleasant run, and I didn't have any water with me. So yeah, got the miles done, but the run itself wasn't particularly great. 10 to 12k easy, just due to general work and stuff. I didn't have enough time to get even the minimum of 10, so just even under 8.5 was the most I could do. And then for the long run, which I was actually really looking forward to because it was going to include 10k in the middle of marathon goal pace. The night before, I thought I was getting ill because I just couldn't sleep. My heart was racing. I was cold sweated through the night as well. And yeah, just didn't sleep. So I felt absolutely terrible on the Saturday, but I couldn't run on the Sunday because I can't remember why now. I just think of other things that we were doing with the family and whatever. So I went out and did it. Before the marathon block pace started, my stomach was churning and I had to stop a little bit. That managed to subside, which was good, and it felt fine. I felt pretty terrible. I mean, as in like the stomach felt fine. I felt pretty terrible, but pushed on for the marathon pace, and it was pretty consistent as the splits show here. Like, it didn't feel too difficult. It probably felt a little bit harder than normal, but again, I wasn't really too worried about that feeling because I was just down to how badly I was sort of feeling after the sleep the night before. And then for the sort of final 11k, when I got to about 27.5k, stomach churning again. Stopped. It wouldn't subside, and for the first time ever in my running career, had to quickly nip behind the nearest bush, and unfortunately had to put up with severe chafing for just over 5k home. So again, another low light of the week. So all in all, I think it was, so 63.5k that week, but the quality of the running was piss poor. So happy that I managed to get the running done, especially like with the hangover and limited sleep, and especially with like just having no sleep and feeling pretty terrible. Managed to get like the biggest runs of the week done, but the quality was horrific. Fast forward to last week though, and it was a completely different story. So the first run of the week was a 12 to 14k effort session, so 90 seconds at 10k race pace, which I was still working around 350 minute per kilometre. 60-second jog recovery, and there was 16, but coach wants to do it slightly differently to break up that 16 into 2 blocks of 8. So for the first block of 8, the first 7 were at 10k race pace, and then the last one in the block was at 5k race pace. After that final one out of the first block, there was 2 minutes jog recovery, and then we repeated it again. And we did the 7 at 10k plus the final 8th one at 5k race pace, and absolutely smashed us out of the park. Again, like splits on the screen. You can see like the first block of 8. Pretty consistent around that 3:50 a kilometre, and then dropped down to 3:38 for the final or for the 8th effort. And then after the 2 minutes jog recovery, slightly quicker but a little bit more sporadic, like had a 3:44 in there where I probably just wasn't paying close enough attention to my pace, and then dropped down to 3:33 for the final 5k. So really strong run, felt fantastic. One thing that I've done differently this week, especially for this run, for the efforts run, for the tempo run, and for the long run, is I got some of the, if you can see it on the camera, Nomio. So there's been quite a lot of going around on like Instagram and YouTube around Nomio, and the science behind it is you take it 3 hours before a hard session, and it's supposed to reduce or delay the buildup of lactic acid in the legs, allowing you to basically run better for longer without building that fatigue up. So I did it for all those 3 runs, efforts, tempo, and the long run, and there was just 3 incredible runs. Now, there's probably like a large part of it which is a placebo effect, but unfortunately now I'm chip committed. Like I had such a great week and I used that stuff that now I have to continue using it up until the marathon, because I'm now afraid that if I don't take it, the runs won't be good enough. Probably absolutely rubbish, but I'm sticking with it. So I took it for that, and it was a really great run. Strength and conditioning on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday was an effort session. So again, like we've done it a couple of times before, where it's a 3k warm up, 9-10k at tempo, and then 3k warm down. The splits for the tempo were absolutely bang on. If you can see there, just either 3:59 or 4 minutes a kilometre. Again, like I'll put all the data on the screen. That was actually the first time I've ever run under 40 minutes for a 10k. I knew after the past couple of weeks I could run under 40 minutes for a 10k, but I actually hadn't done it until now. And the most positive thing at the end of that run was I finished the 10th kilometre out of the tempo block, and I thought to myself, I didn't feel like I was working hard to achieve that time. So I know that was definitely not my 10k pace. I know that for a fact. That purely was a tempo pace. But to run that time as part of a training run, it just shows like where my fitness has got to now after this calendar year. So just really good run. Felt really happy with the way that went. 6 to 8k easy on the Thursday. Again, nothing too much to talk about here. And then the 32k run on the Friday. I had to condense everything down into the weekdays because of family commitments and stuff on the weekend. So apart from the first 15k where I was running directly into the wind, which obviously affects like your heart rate and your pace, it didn't really have too much of a negative effect, although I could feel it. And then when I actually came round where the wind was behind me, you definitely noticed the difference. But to run that distance at 4:46 a minute per kilometre with an average heart rate of 137, I was really pleased with. Like 91 or 92% of that run was in zone 2, which is exactly where you need to be. I also trialed something different for this run. So usually I always use Maurten gels as part of my training run. In Amsterdam, I just had the Maurten 100s and the Maurten 100 caffeine. So I swapped the 100 normal out for the Maurten 160. So slightly bigger tube. There's not too much difference in the size compared to the 100s, but the 160 is giving you 40 grams of carbs instead of 25. So I've worked out that if I take 2 of the 160s plus a 100 caffeine per hour, that's 105 grams of carbs now, which is quite a lot. Obviously, I haven't been tested to understand what I actually need to be optimal, but my stomach can take 105 grams an hour without any GI issues. So I'm sticking with it, and I'm carrying less sachets now on my longer runs and into the marathon as well. So really pleased that that worked out well on that long run. Moving forward to this week, so this is going to be the most volume and the biggest longer run of the training block. And after this week, it's going to start coming down now. So the first run that I'm going to be doing tomorrow, Tuesday the 17th, is 17k. So we're same structure as the tempo from last week, but the tempo distance is moving from 10k to 11k. 6 to 8k easy running on the Wednesday. The effort session is a bit more duration now in terms of each effort. So it's 5 minutes at 10k race pace, which I'm still going to stick to 3 minutes 50 minute per kilometre. 60-second jog recovery, and then multiply that or do that 6 times. So that should be a good session. Strength and conditioning on the Friday, and then we're up to 35k for the long run on the weekend, and that will be the longest run that I do in the training block. That's purely easy running. There's no marathon goal pace in any of the runs this week. For the next 2 weeks, because really it's next week, the week after, and then obviously the week after that is the marathon. But for these 2 weeks, there'll be some of the longer runs, which obviously will be a lot shorter than the runs we're doing at the moment. Will include like small sections of marathon goal pace in it. So again, just to sort of get a feeling or just remind myself of that marathon pace feeling a little closer to the marathon. So that should be good. But yeah, all in all, confidence is high. I couldn't have predicted the running to have gone any better than how it has gone for this training block. I think a large portion of that was down of recent times to the Great Yarmouth Half. Like I said in the previous video, I've never finished a race strong. I've always been clinging on and just blowing out of my arse and just falling over the finish line. But to finish that race with my second fastest 5k, and that was at the end, it's been such a confidence booster. And even my coach said if I'd had another race planned after the Great Yarmouth, he would have told me to cancel that race because he wants me to go into the marathon off the back of the Great Yarmouth being my previous race. And subsequently, he said if it didn't go well, he said then we would have been looking for another race to build that confidence up before the marathon. But he said because the Great Yarmouth Half went as it did in some challenging conditions at time with a lot of headwind, that's given me so much more confidence. And then okay, take the week after the half marathon out because there was a lot of drinking and poor sleep, etc. But the week after that, running that first sub 40 10k, having all the running going as well as it did, having everything controlled and feel really comfortable, again, it's just building on that confidence. So fingers crossed for another good week this week, and then because as it is like the largest volume, and then hopefully I'll be in a very good mindset come 2 weeks or 3 weeks in Boston to have a good go at running a decent time in a marathon. So that's it. Hopefully I will get the next week's or this week's training video out at the end of the week instead of being lazy, because I want to probably just do a review of this week on its own rather than combine it. And we'll catch up next time. Thank you very much.